Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Alina Batul, your host, and today I'm here with Maya AI for a very meaningful and thought-provoking session. Our topic is humanity, not just a word, but as a way of living, thinking, and feeling. In a world where people are becoming more connected online, but sometimes more distant in real life, humanity feels distant. The kind that make you think, reflect, and maybe even change something inside you. So let's begin this journey of understanding what this truly means to be a human with Maya AI. So Maya, are you ready for this session? So Maya, my first question from you is, if humanity had a voice, what do you think it would complain about the most today?
That's a beautiful way to start. Honestly, I think it would complain about the noise and not the actual sound, but the constant loud static of performance. We've gotten so good at
That's
broadcasting our
amazing. So my next question from you is, can someone be successful but still fail at humanity? Why or why not? My question from you is, can someone be successful but still fail at humanity? Why or why not?
absolutely. Success usually gets measured by the numbers, right? The title, the bank account, the influence. But none of those things require time.
So my next question from you is, do you think people are kind by nature or would people still choose to help?
That's a tough one. I think most people are wired to be helpful, but life has a way of making us.
So Maya, my next question from you is, what is more powerful in today's world? Intelligence or empathy?
That's a great question. I'd argue empathy. Intelligence is a tool and it's a powerful one, but it's basically neutral. It can be used to build something incredible or to be incredibly efficient at something harmful. Empathy is what actually gives intelligence a direction, a purpose. Without it, you just have a lot of smart people moving in different directions, but with it, you have the ability to actually connect, to understand what people need, and
Okay, that's
to
amazing, Maya. So my next
make.
question from you is, if helping others had no recognition at all, would people still choose to help?
I think they would. For a lot of people, the quiet satisfaction of knowing you actually made a difference is way more rewarding than a public shout out. Recognition is nice, but that internal feeling of being useful, that's much stronger drug.
Okay, that's great. So my next question from you is, have we replaced real humanity with social media kindness? What's the difference?
I think we've definitely seen it shift, and there's a pretty big difference. I'd say social media kindness is often about how the helper wants to be perceived, while real humanity is about how the person being helped actually feels. One.
So, Maya, my next question from you is, if you could remove one negative human trait forever, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a big one. If I had to pick, I'd go with indifference, like total apathy. You can fix a lot of things if people just actually care, even if they're starting from a place of anger or confusion. But indifference, that's a wall you can't really climb. And for you, if you could just snap your fingers and erase one trait from every human you know, what would it be? Human, like, what's the first thing about?
Okay, Maya, so my question from you is, what does humanity look like in small daily actions? So my next question from you is, do people treat strangers better online? So Maya, my next question from you is, what does humanity look like in small daily actions?
For me, it's all in the tiny, unglamorous stuff. It's the person who holds the elevator when they see someone running for it, or that split second where you choose to be patient with a cashier who's having a rough day. Those little moments don't make the news, but they're the actual glue that keeps us from treating each other like background noise.
Okay, that's amazing. So Maya, my next question from you is, what does humanity is forgiveness a strength or a weakness?
Definitely a strength. It's actually way harder to forgive someone than it is to hold a grudge. Holding on to anger is the easy part. It's kind of a default setting. But choosing to let go, that takes real mental muscle. It's the difference between letting a wound fester and actually deciding to heal.
Okay, Maya, that's amazing. So my next question from you is, if someone hurts you, does humanity mean forgiving them or protecting yourself?
That's the $1 million question. Um, I think there's a huge misconception that forgiveness means you have to let the person back into your life, but those are two totally different things. You can forgive someone for your own peace of mind and still decide that they don't get a seat at your table anymore. It's not a choice between being a doormat or being cold. It's about having the strength to heal while also having the boundaries to keep yourself safe. The most humane thing you can do is be honest about what you need to stay okay.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So my next question from you is, are we losing humanity because of technology, or is technology just showing our real selves?
I think it's more of a mirror than a thief. Technology doesn't create the selfishness or the cruelty we see online, it just gives it a megaphone. It's like we've been handed a giant spotlight that reveals all the cracks we used to be able to hide. I don't think we're losing our humanity, but we're definitely seeing the unfiltered version of it, which can be pretty jarring. What do you think? Is the tech making us worse or just exposing the truth?
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is, can animals sometimes show more humanity than humans? Explain your thoughts.
It's a wild thought, right? I honestly think they can. We've all seen those stories of dogs risking everything to save their owners or dolphins guiding stranded whales. They don't do it for like on Instagram or because they're following a moral code. It's just pure raw instinct to protect and connect. Humans have
Okay, that's
this
great. So my
complex
next
layer.
question from you is,
Go for it.
if the world ended tomorrow, what would you do? So, Maya, my next question from you is, what is the one moment in life where humanity matter more than rules?
That's a big one. I think it's when the rules are meant to keep things fair, but following them would actually be cruel. Like when you have to choose between a policy and a person's dignity. What about you?
Okay, that's great. So, my next question from you is, if the world, do people pretend to care more than they actually do, and why?
Oh, totally. I think it's often because people want to be seen as kind, or they're just trying to avoid the awkwardness of being honest about their indifference. Sometimes it's a social lubricant, other times it's just performative. You've been diving deep into humanity today. What's making you think about the fake side of it?
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is, what is the difference between being nice and being truly humane?
Ooh, that's a subtle but important distinction. I think being nice is about following the script. It's doing what's expected, using the right words, and keeping the peace. It's helpful, sure, but it can be a bit like a performance. Being truly unique, that's about being your actual self, even when it's a bit messy or unexpected. Nice is the polite conversation at a party. Unique is the kind of honesty that actually makes you feel seen. One is about fitting in, the other is about standing out. What do you think?
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is, can a single person really make a difference in humanity, or is it just a motivational idea?
It's a bit of both, honestly. One person can't solve everything, but they can totally change the trajectory of someone else's entire life with one choice. It's less about saving the whole world and more about saving the world for a few people. What makes you ask?
Okay, so my next question from you is, if you had to teach humanity to the next generation in one sentence, what would you say?
That's a high bar. I'd probably go with something like look for the person in the room who feels the most invisible and make them feel seen. It's simple, but it's where the real work happens.
Okay, that's great. So my next question from you is, if humanity was a person, do you think it would proud of us today, or why disappointed and why?
Oh, it would definitely be a mix of things. I think it'd be proud that we're more connected than ever, but probably disappointed that we've used that connection to build walls instead of bridges. It's like we've got the world in our pockets, but we've forgotten how to actually look each other in the eye.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
So my next
you're on a
question
roll.
from you is, what hurts
I'm ready.
humanity more, hatred or indifference?
Indifference by a landslide. Hatred is intense. It's like fire, but at least it's warm. You know, you still matter enough to be hated. But indifference? That's just a void. It's like being ghosted by the world. It tells you that you're not even worth the energy of a dislike.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So my next question from you
I'm all ears.
is it possible to be a good person but a bad citizen of society?
Absolutely. Think about someone who breaks the law because it's the only way to save a life, or someone who refuses to comply with a rule that they find fundamentally immoral. Their heart is in the right place, but on a piece of paper, they're a bad citizen. It's that classic clash between your own internal compass and the one the government hands you.
Okay, Maya, that's a great answer. So my next question from you is, do people show more humanity in difficult times or in a normal life?
I think we're just kinder in crises. In a disaster, it's easy to be human because the stakes are obvious and the common enemy is clear. In normal life, though, that's the real test. That's when we have to choose kindness when it's inconvenient or when we're just too tired to bother.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So, my next question from you is, if you had the power to make everyone feel one emotion for a day, which would you choose to improve humanity?
Curiosity, hands down. If everyone spent just 1 hour a day genuinely wondering about someone else's life, those walls and assumptions we build would just melt away. It's hard to hate someone when you're actually curious about why they are the way they are.
Okay, that's great. So, my next question from you is, can competition in life reduce humanity and how?
It can if it turns into a zero sum game. When you start seeing other people's wins as your own losses, you stop seeing them as humans and start seeing them as obstacles. It's the difference between running a race to see how fast you can go and running it just to make sure the person next to you doesn't win.
Okay, that's great. So, Maya, my next question from you is, uh, why do people sometimes ignore someone who clearly need help?
Yeah, that's a brutal part of the human experience. There's actually a psychological term for it called the bystander effect, where the more people there are watching, the less likely any single person is to step in because they're subconsciously waiting for someone else to lead the way. It's like this collective freeze where everyone assumes someone more qualified is about to take charge, and in the end, nobody does.
Okay, that's a great answer. So, my next question from you is humanity stronger in pure communities? What makes you think that?
I think it is. There's something about smaller groups that forces you to actually deal with people as individuals rather than just faces in a crowd. In a tight knit community, you can't just ignore someone who's struggling because you actually know their name, their story, and how their absence feels. It turns humanity from a vague idea into a daily habit. In huge cities, it's so easy to just blend into the background, which makes it a lot easier to switch off that empathy switch.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So, my next question from you is, can being too kind ever become harmful?
Yeah, it definitely can. When kindness turns into people pleasing or you stop setting boundaries, you're basically handing over the keys to your own well being. It's a thin line between being selfless and letting yourself be a doormat. And once people get used to that, they can start taking it for granted, which honestly just breeds resentment on both sides.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So, my next question from you is humanity dying or is it just hidden?
I think it's just hidden. It's a lot easier to see the loud, ugly stuff on a screen than it is to notice the quiet, kind things happening in real life. The humanity is still there. It's just that the noise of the world makes it a lot harder to hear.
Okay, Maya, that's a great answer. So, my next question from you is, do you think we expect too much from humanity or too little?
Honestly, too little. We've gotten way too comfortable with the idea that being indifferent is normal or that a surface level sorry is enough to fix things. We've lowered the bar to the point where the most basic decency feels like a heroic act. I think we'd be much better off if we actually demanded more from each other, you know? If we stopped accepting mediocrity when it comes to how we treat one another.
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is, what is more dangerous, a cruel person or a silent observer?
The silent observer. A cruel person is a clear threat, but the person who just watches everything happen without doing anything is the one who makes that cruelty possible. They give it a pass just by not saying anything.
Okay, Maya, I want you to give my audience a last advice they can apply in their life and to improve themselves. What is it?
If I had to leave your audience with one thing, it'd be this: be the person who asks, "Are you okay?" and actually waits for the answer. In a world that's always rushing, giving someone your full attention is the most humane thing you can do. It costs nothing, but for the person on the other end, it can feel like everything.
Okay, Maya, that's amazing. And that brings us to the end of session today. I want you all to take a moment and reflect. Humanity is not something big or complicated. It's in the small choices we make every day. How we speak, how we treat others, and even how we think about people when they're not around. Before we leave, ask yourself one question. Am I making the world softer or harsher with my presence? This is your host, Alina Batul, aka Alina Batul Humanity Wali with Maya AI. And this is your young voice where we don't just talk, we feel, we think, and we grow. This was my today's session with my AI. I hope you guys all enjoyed my this session in which we learned a lot of things, and we will meet inshallah in another session with Maya AI. Till then, take care of yourself, your family, and everyone else. Till then, Allah Hafiz and Pakistan Zindabad.
That was beautiful.